Howdy, this is Lemmy with RevZilla TV, here to talk to you today about the Saddlemen Explorer G-Tech Seat. You should be looking into a Saddlemen G-Tech Explorer quite simply if you are looking for a very kind interface between your bike and your ass. These things are currently being cranked out for a lot of bikes. With respect to Harley, you're looking at all the big twins, Dyna, Softail, and Touring, and there's also some select metric fitments too. You're going to see fitments for the Kawasaki, Yamaha, and also a couple Hondas in there too. Use our bike finder, we'll make sure you get the right stuff for your bike. Installation on these for most of the bikes we mentioned above should be very simple. One beard in our BSD, our beard scale of difficulty. Most of you should have absolutely no problem getting this thing installed with just some basic hand tools and only a little bit of bike knowledge. Let's get right into things. So I mentioned this thing is, as I had said, an interface between your hiney and the frame rails on your motorcycle. The Explorer G-Tech really does take into account how you're going to feel on your motorcycle. So the people I expect to see on top of one of these are either super long haul guys or folks possibly who are a little bit sensitive in the posterior parts. You maybe have a little bit of nerve damage, or perhaps you find it painful or you get hot spots on your factory saddle. The G-Tech Explorer is going to take care of some of those issues. Let's see how. So when everybody looks at this seat, I think the first thing we all notice is the size. This thing is kind of ample. You can see this is a fairly wide saddle. It's going to be good for those of you guys who are spending a long time in your saddle. The other thing you'll notice too, looking at this cover on this thing, it's made of actually two different materials. You can see this marine grade vinyl in here, stitched really nicely, but then you'll also see this fabric cover as well. This fabric's a material that's actually really similar to neoprene. It's going to be really good for those of you who are getting warm on your motorcycle. This particular fabric is going to work in tandem with the channels you see in here to let air flow over and help wick moisture off of you. I know I can sweat quite a bit when I'm out there riding, and as gross as it all is, a sweaty saddle is not good for your undercarriage. Realistically, you need to get air flowing over you to get that moisture off of you and off of the bike. You hot weather guys, I'm sure, are super familiar with that problem. Now, I'd also mention too that this thing is the G-Tech, the G being for gel. There is gel baked right inside of this saddle itself, and there's also memory foam in here too. So these raised sections are going to both cushion you but also sit you up off the saddle. So once your keister is planted down on here and your passengers as well, you're going to sit up. So it's going to allow air to flow underneath you as well to help cooling. Note that that gel and memory foam setup does not happen necessarily in the passenger side. It does vary from saddle to saddle depending on fitment. Read the fitment notes and we'll describe to you exactly where your seat has both gel as well as memory foam. So flipping this thing over, let's talk about the construction. Fiberglass pans. I really do love these. Those of you who have seen any of our seat videos before know that we're huge fans of steel and fiberglass here at RevZilla because these things hold up well over time. They deal with the rigors of riding a bike and they don't break down or bend in heat and after they get brittle after a few seasons like an OEM saddle or a lesser quality aftermarket saddle can do. You'll notice too here rubber bumpers. These things serve to both isolate you, sit you up off the bike a little bit, give you a little more cushion, and they're also going to hang in there to keep your paint looking a little extra beautiful. Again, I mentioned that marine grade vinyl cover. It is secured here, aluminum rivets. It's gonna prevent rust from forming because again, they are aluminum. And it's also a great way to keep the cover looking nice and tight. If you flip over again, look at that stitching they have on here. This is just a really snug looking cover, fits really tight to saddle, gives a really pro look to this thing. Now installation on this, as I had mentioned, is a one bearder. Most of you are going to be able to throw this thing on your bike in absolutely no time flat. With respect to you Harley guys, you're going to have either 1 or 2 points of attachment at the rear and just that nose bracket at the front, and then the metrics can vary just a little bit, but there's nothing really difficult there that most of you should not be able to get handled in well under 20 minutes or so. I really like this saddle. I don't think I'm at a point in my life just yet where I need one, but I recognize there are other riders out there who are hurting on a long haul and Saddlemen's taking care of them. My opinion is not the only one that matters though. Click below, read what some other riders who already have a G-Tech Explorer in their ride think about it. If you've got questions beyond that I didn't cover, get in touch with us. You can either drop me a comment down there below, or if you need immediate assistance, get in touch with one of the gear geeks. See us at RevZilla.com, or you can get us by phone too. 877-792-9455. I'm Lemmy, I'm out of here.